Hi, this is Kate Ryan here with Scoop's Latest. Today we'll be covering an episode about the queer community. I'm here with my guest, Andy. And today we'll just be going over the queer experience. Awesome, Andy. So my first question for you is, what stereotypes or misconceptions do you run into the most often?
Honestly, I've heard that everybody's like, "Oh, you don't sound gay." You know. You don't have the gay voice, gay accent.
Okay, like the more higher pitched type of talk?
Yeah.
As a gay man? Okay. Yeah. I feel like, there's stereotypes too as a lesbian. People when they think lesbian assume like you dress all masculine and are super tough, but at the end of the day, like there's femme lesbians too, and oftentimes they do intermingle. Like there's a lot of masc and femme lesbian couples, but there's also masc to masc lesbian couples and femme to femme lesbian couples. But there's such a stereotype in a sense that I think when it comes to men oftentimes assume that if a girl is more feminine, she will like him. And then when it comes to that, there comes that harsh undertone, like almost like over-sexualizing women in a sense, especially gay women.
Yeah,
like you see guys in the bar, like we're very fetishized. Like guys will be like, "Oh my god, it's so hot when two girls kiss," and I'm like, honestly, you're fucking weird if you think that. Like, I'm sorry, but that is so odd.
I think there's also like a lot of, for specifically women, there's a lot of people who just assume all women are bi, and like people assume that straight women are bi, and they'll like women also, and that gay women, they'll like men also,
Yeah.
Everybody.
And like, don't get me wrong, like sexuality, like you never really know someone's sexuality, so like that's okay to put it out there. Yo, I'm interested. Like that's fine. Like like I've done that before, but like in a sense of like assuming someone's sexuality and then sexualizing them for it is such disgusting behavior that needs to stop in society. Like men being like, the amount of times I've been at the bar and I've been hit on by like a creepy man and he's come up to me and he's like, "Oh, you're so hot." And don't get me wrong, it doesn't happen all the time. I'm not like assuming, like I'm not being like, "Oh my god, I'm literally the sexiest human being in the world." That's not what I'm saying. But every once in a while it happens. And like they'll come up to, or like a guy will come up to me and be like hit on me, and I'll be like, "I'm sorry, like I'm gay." And then he'll say some outrageous shit like, "Oh, well, I like women too." I'm like, okay, like now your ego's getting in the way. Like take the rejection and don't like turn it into some twisted weird game, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna want you no matter what, because I don't like dick.
Dude, I've heard some crazy shit. This is wild. I've heard like people are like, in middle school, how was changing rooms? And I'm like everybody else, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not looking.
Or that, like when someone's like, "Oh, like you're gay," and then they're like, "Wait, do you have a crush on me?"
Yeah, literally.
I'm like, that's literally not how that works.
They immediately assume they like you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, like yes, I have crushes on or yes, I form a crush on a woman because I'm gay, but like that doesn't, just because I'm gay doesn't mean I automatically have a crush on you. And that's kind of just like the stereotype that needs to change. It's harder because I think, especially as a lesbian woman, it's harder to earn that respect, especially when, like, I've never specifically had a girlfriend, but I know that I have to be prepared for the fact that, especially with the type of women that I like, I'm into more feminine women, because I think I'm more masculine. Like that's just my type. And I know that like when it comes to like men are gonna hit on my girl, it's going to be a problem in a sense of like, they're not gonna be respectful, because they don't, like, if you're already sexualizing a gay woman, then you don't respect the relationship at all.
I think a lot of people also immediately, they're like, "Oh, who wears the pants in the relationship?" That's one I've heard like a lot. Is so who wears the pants? Who's
Yeah.
It's like, that's not
how that works
Yep.
at all.
No.
Like, it's like, or they'll be like, oh yeah, like they'll be like, who's the man in the relationship? I'm like, neither of us. We're both women. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing.
In a relationship, I don't think anyone needs to wear the pants.
Exactly.
Even in like straight relationships, I think it just comes from there's this concept of, oh God, what is it called? It's
ego.
No, not even. It's where you know, all the posts about, oh, I hate my wife, oh I hate my husband, the ball and chain, you know, those. It's this like societal thing where they think that the other gender is like a black box, and that they're just like that, you know. Women are just like that. They're you know, men are just like that. They're gonna be messy. You're gonna have to be picking up socks, you know. That's not how
that's not true. Yeah.
No. And so they're really confused about, you know, queer relationships, because you don't have to be picking up socks. Like, no, the house is not a mess because it's two gay men. No, the house is not necessarily clean because it's two gay men. Like, that's...
Yeah. And I think that's where, like, gender roles also come into play, in a sense that I feel like the reason why, like, most men struggle when it comes to, like, feeling some more of, like, they're more what you want to consider, which I don't consider at all, as feminine emotions. Like, if they cry, they really struggle with that, because they feel like they can't open up to anybody because of toxic masculinity. Like, they think you could be tough as shit and still be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that's the issue when it comes to, at least from, I'm a woman, so I've never experienced the life of what it's like to be a man, so I can't speak for all men, but that's something that I would say is probably one of the biggest struggles, as someone who also has two brothers.
True. Yeah, I've also heard this from this is from a quote from my dad. It's I said I was gay or whatever, and he's like, oh, so what are you like, a girl now? And it's like, well no.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
You're like, no, like, that's not how that works, you know? And I think everybody should just be themselves, do their thing. You find your significant other when you find your significant other. You will find that healthy relationship. I mean, I think it's just a sense of also not letting, like, the outside bullshit from other people, like, ruin your relationship in a sense. Yeah. Because even a straight relationship, you're going to get people who are going to be disrespectful about your relationship. And I think that's why, like, loyalty is definitely the most important thing when it comes to a relationship. If you can be loyal to your partner, then, and you love your partner and you're there for your partner, then, like, your relationship can literally survive anything. Yeah. But have you experienced discrimination or judgment, and how did you handle it?
I think I'm a young gay. Okay, I've known for like 2, maybe 3 years.
Okay.
And so, like, not really, because I'm a little selective about who I tell. You know.
Okay, so you're not like one of those people. I'd say for me.
Okay, I view it like, straight people don't go around being like, I'm straight, guys, I'm straight. And so I'm not going to be walking around, I'm gay, guys, I'm gay, I'm so gay.
Yeah. No, that's so valid.
So, like, I'll just treat it like anything else.
No, that's so valid.
If somebody asks about it, I'll tell them. If it comes up, I'll tell them, but I'm gonna yell it in the streets or whatever.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I think it depends on the person and how they approach it. I mean, I do think, like, I think the idea of coming out needs to change. I think that's dumb as fuck, because you should not be assuming your kid's sexuality no matter what. I mean, it is starting to change in a sense. Like, you see more kids, like, being comfortable enough with their parents to be like, I think I might be gay. And I hate the agenda of, like, oh, you're pushing sexuality in kids. I'm like, I had straight being pushed on me as a child. Like, what do you mean? Like, that was the only thing that I really necessarily saw on TV. And it wasn't like my parents were trying to, like,
It's in all the media.
It's in all the media.
Yeah,
Like,
you see a guy protagonist, girl protagonist. Oh, they're gonna get together. Obviously, duh.
Yeah.
That's how the story goes.
but I think that's starting to change in a sense too. And then like again, when it comes to like the telling people you're gay, I'm one of those people who like I make jokes with a lot of my friends. I mean, like, I'm one of those people with my sexuality who, like, I make jokes a lot. Lot of gay jokes. Like, we have a time with it because I just think it's just who I am, you know? And
it's funny.
Some people aren't necessarily like that. Like, they're not like, oh my God, like what? Like, walking around with their sexuality on their sleeve. I consider myself to be a rainbow gay. But, like, it just depends on the person. And that doesn't mean like, oh, my sexuality is the only thing that I am. But I guess like I view it in a sense of like, it was so hard for me. I knew I was gay in 8th grade, and it took me till my senior year of high school to tell my parents that I was gay. And even then, when it came to my friends and stuff, I really didn't tell my friends that I liked girls until towards the end of like freshman year.
You told your parents first?
No, actually, I told my younger brother sophomore year of high school. I got hammered and opened up to him and told him I liked girls. And then he just dapped me up and said respect.
Yo, me too. I do too,
He said, yo, me too, bro. And then we laughed, and it was a good night. But and then one of my other cousins I told as well. We were like driving, and I just kind of like got tired of keeping it all in. So I opened up to her about it, and then I told my parents my senior year of high school. But I think the reason why I almost like am like that in a sense is because it was so hard for me in the beginning of my life for like no one to know. And even if people like thought maybe because of the way I present myself and because of lesbian stereotypes, it was still hard for me in a sense of feeling like I'm covering that part up of myself. So I think now that I'm like, oh, people know I'm gay, like I make jokes about it a lot.
Oh yeah, so many. So many.
I mean, my friends think it's funny. I think it's funny.
It's a silly concept.
People can say what they want about it, or like being like, "Oh, like you seem to talk about like you talk about being gay a lot, or you make a lot of gay jokes." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't care. I think it's funny. I'm gonna keep doing it. Like I'm just being myself. Yeah. It's not the only thing that I am, but it is a part of who I am."
I think being gay is it's a little silly. I mean, you know.
Exactly. Like
it's just like a funny idea.
It's just a different experience that straight people or people who are straight, and don't get me wrong, sexuality is a spectrum in a sense, so I don't necessarily think like people who identify as straight could end up identifying as bi or gay at some point in their lives. That's not the point that I'm making. But when you're actually genuinely like, you're like, oh, I just like the opposite gender, then in that way, it's something that is a hard concept to understand because it's seen differently than straight relationships. And it's not necessarily that it's a bad thing, but with the way that society handles it, it's one of those things where I just think it would make it a whole lot easier if, as parents within the next couple generations, we didn't assume the sexuality of our children.
Of course.
Like, don't be like, oh, you like expose them to gay relationships, expose them to let them figure that out. That's the thing. They might not know because kids don't like. I could have convinced myself as in kindergarten that I had a crush on like a car, but
anything.
Literally anything. I could have convinced myself that I had a crush on like a chocolate chip muffin. But that's not the point is, yes, kids don't understand sexuality because they don't even understand what a romantic relationship is, but giving them that chance to figure it out will then make it so that they feel less prone to hide it within the future.
Yeah, I think it's a little harder for, I guess, people who are bi to figure it out, because I think when you just like the opposite sex, you don't like what you're supposed to like. And so it's like that's obvious, but I think like liking both is it's like trying to find, like, this is my boyfriend's term, the secret third thing that that like no one no one says, you know,
Yeah.
bisexual people that it's always gay.
Gay. Yeah.
Right? So.
No, I 1000% agree with that. I think like the bi community, in a sense, like they deserve so much more respect than what they get, because I think for them, or like for whether it's a man, a woman, a they, them, all the above, whatever you want to call it. For that, like for those people, it's hard in a sense that I think, especially for women, they still get so sexualized to the point where they almost push away that, oh, I like girls part of themselves, to the point where they just kind of use it as like a stimulation, like, sorry for my language, sexual feeling, instead of even embracing the fact that, oh, maybe I could actually date a girl. You know what I mean? Because those feelings are there, but I think that for women is really hard because they're already so sexualized as it is. So as someone who would be a bi woman, or someone who is a bi woman, like that would be the hardest part, I think, from what I would assume would be the hardest part of their sexuality. And for men, it's the opposite, because bi men who like boys and girls are oftentimes pushed to like men because they're like, oh my God, like, oh, they must be so feminine, like they like this, so a girl doesn't want to date me, but that's not the truth. You know what I mean? Or someone who is woke and understanding of the fact that, like, keep yourself open. You know what I mean?
I think like the difference for like bi men and women is, this is from my experience, that if you're like a bi woman, and this is like from friends, everyone's like, oh, well, you know, all women like women a little bit, you know? And then if you're a guy, it's more of like, oh, you like men? Oh, so you must not like women. You know, pick one.
Yeah. Right.
So it's more of a bi men don't exist and bi women is just normal women.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird of a split. Because if you're like woman coming out as bi, it's like, oh, well, am I actually bi, or are all women bisexual, right? And yeah, as a man, it's like, oh, well, am I gay? Were my previous relationships with women just me thinking that I was supposed to like this, so I did?
Yeah,
right?
I think that's the issue within society too, is that we're so quickly to almost like put labels and stereotypes on so many different things. And I've had so many friends come to me over the years and be like, Kate, I really am not sure what my sexuality is. The amount of like friends that, I'm not going to say names because they came to, you know, but the amount of friends that come to you when you're already out to be like that support system, and they're like, I'm not sure what my sexuality is because I dated this man, I think I liked him, but then I'm also like, do I like girls? And I'm like, give yourself that time to figure it out. You're not in any rush at all. We are college students. So like, even if, like, and not assuming that you shouldn't go around assuming that anybody who states their sexuality is confused about it, because that's not true at all. But there's so many people that are, in a sense, because of us being young. And that's why whenever I get anybody who comes to me about it, I'm like, just be open. If you think you might like someone and you're not really sure, it doesn't hurt to like spend some time with them and see. You know what I mean? You just never really necessarily know, because who knows? That could be the love of your life. You know, like, that's just kind of how life works. Like, there's no
rules.
There's no rules in that sense. And that's where I think if we view it more in that way, then the confusion and the labels and this, oh my God, am I that, am I this? If I tell someone that I'm that and then I end up not being that, then what happens? Like, you see what happened with JoJo Siwa. She's ended up dating a man.
Oh my God.
Don't get me wrong, I don't like the way she approached it. I think it's completely fine that she's dating a man. She said that she was a lesbian. However, I think she probably discovered that she was bi, but I the way that I think she was wrong in the way she approached it was the sense that she kind of didn't almost embrace her bisexuality in a sense. And with the way she handled it, she kind of gave a man can turn me straight, and that's not how that works either. Like, yes, in that situation she discovered that she likes men as well, and I think it is hard for her again because she's always been in front of a camera, so she's probably constantly pushed to be a certain way.
Dude, the kids in front of the cameras is crazy. Child stars are not
They struggle because they're constantly pushed to be a certain way, and that's where I think like in that way, I think just the way she handled it was wrong. It's completely fine she's dating a man. The same thing happened with Fletcher, but she also handled it wrong in my opinion. Just completely like erased the fact or didn't even address the public in a sense of being like, hey, I know that I said, like, I'm a lesbian. However, I'm still figuring myself out. But that doesn't mean let's assume the stereotype a man can turn you straight.
Yeah.
Because that's already a stereotype as it is. Like, oh, you haven't found the right man yet.
That's one of the big ones. That's one of, like, the main ones. It's like, oh, well, you know. Right. But. And
I mean, you get that from like you get gay man stereotypes, you get gay women stereotypes, you get bi stereotypes, you get straight stereotypes as well. You know, like we assume so much about somebody just by the way they present themselves, and that's something that like there can be good stereotypes. Yes, I'm not saying there isn't. Like if you show up to a business meeting and you're dressed in a formal attire, you're more likely to get the job. That's a good thing. But like, there's also some really bad stereotypes because we're so quick to just jump. Our brain goes label, label, label. And then we're like, oh, shit, what if I'm not that label? Like, as for me, I remember when I discovered, or when I figured out I was gay, even though my family wasn't pressuring at all, like my family's always been very supportive of my sexuality, I felt that pressure to, like, because I'm the only girl in my family and having two brothers, I put that pressure on myself of like, you have to marry a man. Like, you're the only girl in the family. Like, that's what people deem as important and strong-willed and things of that nature. And then I told my dad, and I'm pretty sure my dad was pretty relieved in a sense. Like, he was probably like, he's like, oh, she's not gonna date a douchebag. He's like, oh, thank God. And then my mom was like,
look, there are plenty of evil lesbians out there you.
No, I know. I'm just making a joke. But I think my dad was happy for me. My mom was also happy for me. I think my mom was like, oh, another girl. Like, we already have so many men in the family because, we got two brothers, or I have two brothers, but, and I'm, making jokes. I think there's a lot of really good guys out there. I'm not saying there are. There's a lot of really good guys out there. There's a lot of really good women out there. There's also a lot of really bad guys out there. And there's also a lot of really bad women out there. But it's just, that's how life is. That's how it works. How it works. You said you started realizing your sexuality 2 years ago. What was that kind of like for you? Or was it 3 years ago?
This is a funny story. So just for some background, in like middle school, I think I don't know if it was like my mom's friend or if it was my friend that it was like my first really like exposure to anything gay, or like any knowledge about that subject. I think it was my mom's friend, and he was around. He talks to her occasionally, and she's like, "Oh yeah, he's gay," and I'm like, "Oh okay, I know what that is." And then one of my friends during lunch like turned to me and was like, I'm a lesbian. I like women," and I'm like, "Okay." She goes, "You're not mad at me?" "No."
You're like, "Why would I be mad?" Yeah.
What do you mean? Are you mad at me? Like, you just are? I don't know. So like, what, 3 of my closest friends were gay in middle school, and then into high school, same sort of situation. But I was always very not confident in my sexuality, but like I would make jokes about gay things because, you know, I thought it was funny. And it's not like, it wasn't like one of those like putting down jokes. It was one of those, oh, I'm confident enough that I'm straight that I can pretend to be gay and it's funny because I'm not. And then there was, this is, I don't know if this is controversial or not. But there was a gay guy in my class and I liked them. And I was like, guess I'm gay. And then I was like, maybe I'm gay. Maybe I am.
You started forming that crush.
I ended up dating the gay guy in that class instead of the guy I had a crush on, which is funny.
Oh, I misunderstood what you were saying. My bad.
No, I liked a trans guy and was like, I guess I'm gay. And then I was like, maybe I am. And I never actually ended up telling him that I had a crush on him. I ended up dating a different guy in the class.
Bro.
Which is funny.
You said, let me switch.
Let me switch it up
a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
So that's funny.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I think we're coming to the end of our episode here today, but thank you so much for meeting with me today, Andy. I've had a really fun conversation with you, you know, sharing a little bit of the gay stereotypes. Gay? Anyways, thank you so much for watching our episode of Scoop's Latest, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye.